There comes a point in every seeker's life when the world begins to feel strangely unreal. You look around, and though everything appears solid, something in you whispers, this can't be all there is. You sense that beneath the surface of what you see, beneath the noise, beneath the motion, there is a hidden order, an invisible architecture shaping every event, every meeting, every coincidence. And when you begin to notice this, you are standing at the threshold of awakening, for you are not a passive character, trapped inside a cosmic simulation. You are the consciousness dreaming it. You are not inside reality. Reality is inside you. The world you call outside is but the mirrored projection of your inner assumptions, playing across the screen of space and time. This is the mystery that Christ and the prophets revealed. The kingdom of heaven is within you, Luke 17:21. It was never a far-off paradise. It is the hidden dimension of mind, the creative realm of imagination. And once you learn to direct that imagination consciously, you awaken from the simulation and begin to write your own code. Everything you experience, every relationship, every circumstance, every so-called coincidence arises from states of consciousness. You are not meeting people. You are meeting your beliefs about them. You are not facing problems. You are facing reflections of your inner state. The world to each of us is a living mirror of what we have accepted as true within ourselves. Science is beginning to echo what mystics knew all along. The observer changes what is observed. Quantum physicists tell us that the act of observation collapses potential into form. But long before laboratories proved it, the scriptures declared, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. Your observation is not a passive glance. It is the creative word of God moving through you. Every time you feel something as real, whether joy, fear, or faith, you are writing into the field of matter the pattern of your inner world. And this is the first step in leaving the simulation, awareness. To see that nothing in your world is fixed, final, or independent of your consciousness. The laws that seem to govern your life are not absolute. They are psychological. You are living in a world made of mind-stuff fluid, responsive, obedient to imagination. When you understand this, life stops being a prison and becomes a canvas. You begin to move from reaction to creation, from victimhood to authorship. No longer hypnotized by appearances, you start to live from the unseen, from the conviction that the inner state precedes the outer fact. Christ said, "It is done unto you as you believe. Not as you wish, not as you work, but as you believe." Belief is not the repetition of words. It is the feeling of reality experienced inwardly before it takes form. Belief is the agreement between the conscious and the subconscious, the word made flesh. So if you wish to exit the simulation, the loop of circumstances that repeat and repeat, you must first change the state from which you think, feel, and imagine. You must reprogram your inner world, not by force, but by faith. By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persisting in that assumption until it hardens into fact. This is not fantasy. It is divine law. Just as seed reproduces after its kind, consciousness reproduces according to its belief. You cannot plant fear and reap peace. You cannot dwell in lack and manifest abundance. You cannot imagine failure and expect victory. The soil of reality gives back what you sow in thought and feeling, nothing more, nothing less. Every time you imagine a scene and feel it real, you are sending the blueprint of your future into the depths of your subconscious, the Father within who doeth the works. John 14:10. And that Father is faithful. He does not judge the content of your imagination. He only fulfills it. For he knows only law, not morality, the law that says, according to your faith, be it unto you. You have been given the power of creation itself, but in ignorance, you have used it unconsciously. You have thought and felt with fear, with resentment, with doubt, and then call the results fate. But fate is nothing but belief crystallized. The simulation you wish to escape is not being done to you. It is being projected from you. The world is your reflected self, faithful, exact, unmerciful in its accuracy. Change the reflection by changing the source. Do not fight the shadows on the wall. Turn toward the light within. When you begin to understand this, a subtle but powerful shift occurs. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what state of consciousness am I living from? That question asked sincerely becomes the beginning of mastery. For there are only states, states of mind, states of belief, states of feeling, and you are forever moving through them. You do not attract what you want. You express what you are conscious of being. You cannot experience what you are unwilling to become inwardly. To the one who feels unloved, the world confirms it. To the one who feels blessed, the world echoes blessing. Life does not discriminate. It mirrors. And the mirror cannot change until you change what stands before it. When you realize this, the practice becomes simple, not easy, but simple. You begin to watch yourself inwardly. You notice your reactions, your assumptions, your inner conversations. You catch yourself rehearsing failure and pause. You catch yourself anticipating rejection and choose again. You begin to speak inwardly as though the desired outcome were already true. You live from the end, as Neville taught. You imagine yourself already the person you wish to be, calm, successful, loved, at peace. And you let that feeling saturate you until it feels natural. Then you persist in that inner knowing. You return to it when doubt arises. You rest in it when fear whispers. And slowly, silently, the world begins to rearrange itself to mirror your new identity. The phone call comes. The door opens. The opportunity appears. But by the time it does, you are no longer surprised, for you saw it first within. The simulation bends to the image you hold in imagination, for imagination is the original substance of all creation. It is the divine laboratory where unseen forms take shape, where faith becomes evidence, where word becomes flesh. When God said, "Let there be light," he was not commanding photons. He was declaring consciousness into being. He was speaking the eternal I am, the awareness of existence itself. And that same I am speaks through you now. Every time you say I am, you are setting the creative law in motion. Whatever follows those words will become the shape of your world. I am tired. I am poor. They are commands. The subconscious accepts them as truth and reorganizes reality to confirm them. So speak deliberately. Let every I am become a declaration of faith. I am strong. I am guided. I am loved. I am at peace. And persist until the feeling of those words becomes your atmosphere. This is how you exit the simulation, by rewriting the code of your inner speech, by choosing thoughts aligned with divine truth rather than with fear. For the true prison is not the world, but the mind's belief in separation from God. When you dissolve that illusion, the world itself becomes luminous, not something to escape, but something to awaken within. You were never meant to run from the simulation. You were meant to master it, to walk as the living word, to command reality through love and faith, to bring heaven to earth through your awareness of oneness with the Father. Christ did not come to show what one man could do. He came to reveal what all men could remember. He said, "The works that I do shall ye do also, and greater works than these." John 14:12. This was not poetry, it was law. For when you understand that consciousness is the only reality, you cease to live as creature and begin to live as creator. You stop begging life to change and start assuming the state that changes life. You stop reacting to appearances and start commanding them with calm authority. This is not arrogance. It is divine humility, to recognize that you and the Father are one, and that through that union, all things are possible. The true exit from the simulation is not death, it is awakening. It is the realization that the world is consciousness condensed, and that every form is a shadow of belief. When you awaken, you do not escape the world. You redeem it by seeing it rightly, as the visible expression of your own inner light. This is why Scripture says, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." Romans 12:2. It is not your environment that must shift first. It is your perception, your inner assumption of self. Renew the mind, and the world follows. Every miracle is simply the reflection of a renewed mind. Every answered prayer is the proof that imagination rules reality. Every moment of peace is heaven remembered. And so the journey is inward, not outward, not toward some distant God in the sky, but toward the God within, the still, creative presence that says, I am. Oh, when you know this presence as yourself, the illusion collapses. The simulation no longer controls you. It serves you. You walk in the world as one awake among sleepers. You see meaning where others see chaos, order where others see confusion, light where others see only shadow. And through that vision, you fulfill your purpose. To bring the unseen into the seen, to embody the word, to reveal the kingdom within every ordinary moment. So tonight, as you close your eyes, do not beg for change. Enter the silence and imagine the world as it would feel if your prayer were already answered. See yourself free, fulfilled, healed, loved. Do not strain. Simply feel it as real. Rest in that inner assurance, knowing that what you see in imagination is already forming in the unseen. Give thanks not because it might come true, but because it already has. Then rise tomorrow and walk as though it were finished. Do not look for signs, become the sign. Do not chase blessings, carry them in your countenance. Do not speak of what is missing. Give thanks for what is present. And watch as the world reconfigures itself to mirror the truth you have accepted. This is the science of Christ. This is the secret of manifestation. This is how you awaken from the dream of limitation and remember your true identity. You are not a soul trapped in matter. You are the infinite consciousness animating matter. You are the breath of God made visible. You are the dreamer and the dream, the observer, the creator, the eternal I am. So stand now in quiet certainty. The simulation cannot bind you, for it was born of you. The code cannot rule you, for you wrote it with your own assumptions. You are not at its mercy. It is at your command. Say within yourself now, with stillness and authority, I am free. I am awake. I am the living expression of God's imagination. Oh, feel those words not as hope, but as truth. Let them vibrate through every cell of your being until the walls of illusion fall away. And when they do, when you finally see through the veil, you will realize there was never a simulation to escape. There was only consciousness learning to remember itself. For the kingdom you sought was never elsewhere. It was and is and forever shall be within you. Be still and know that you are God's living dream now awake. And as you awaken, you will see that everything you once feared was only a reflection of your own forgotten power. The shadows you ran from were never enemies. They were unredeemed pieces of your own consciousness, calling out for light. Each challenge was a messenger, whispering, remember who you are. And now, you remember, you are not a traveler lost in a labyrinth of chance. You are the architect of experience, the dreamer clothed in the dream, the spark of infinite mind, learning to know itself through contrast and creation. The simulation was never punishment. It was a classroom, a mirror, a sacred riddle designed to awaken you from forgetfulness. Look back now, not with regret, but with reverence. Every heartbreak taught you compassion. Every failure taught you faith. Every delay taught you surrender. Every loss cleared the space for something eternal to unfold. Grace wastes nothing, not even your mistakes. You thought life was happening to you, but it was always happening through you. The current of divine intelligence was never absent. It was shaping you quietly beneath every wave. And when you stopped resisting, when you stopped demanding that life look a certain way, the water became still and the reflection became clear. You began to see that the world outside was never the cause, only the effect. That the true battlefield was never circumstance, it was consciousness. And when you conquered thought, you conquered destiny. The ancients knew this truth and spoke it in every tongue. As within, so without. As above, so below. Modern science now echoes the same melody. That reality bends to the expectation of the observer. You do not see things as they are, you see them as you are. Every morning when you open your eyes, the simulation bootstraps itself anew, reconstructed entirely from your current state of being. If you wake anxious, you step into a world that mirrors anxiety. If you wake in faith, the day unfolds as order and peace. This is not superstition, it is law. Your perception is the command line of creation. So when you awaken, do so deliberately. Before the world claims your attention, claim your identity. Speak softly, but with conviction. I am one with God. I am the consciousness that creates worlds. I am light in form. And watch how quickly the code rearranges itself to match that truth. You will notice coincidences begin to cluster. Synchronicities will appear like constellations guiding you forward. Doors that were once locked will open with quiet ease. People will show up at perfect moments, drawn not by chance but by resonance. For the external world is magnetic to your state of being. It cannot help but reflect it. This is the beauty and precision of divine law. There is no injustice in the universe, only reflection. And once you stop judging the mirror, you become free to change the image it reflects. Many try to change the simulation through action alone, believing that if they just do more, strive harder, plan longer, they can escape the loop. But action without a transformed state only multiplies the same result. It is like rearranging scenery in a dream while still asleep. Until you wake up, the pattern repeats. But to awaken is not to struggle, it is to see. It is to recognize that consciousness is cause and everything else is effect. That every outer motion is first an inner movement. That when you feel it real within, the universe, obedient and exact, must conform without. This is why Christ said, when you pray, believe that you have received, and it shall be yours. Mark 11:24. Not that it will come, but that it has. To believe you have already received is to step into the state where the wish fulfilled is already true. And from that state, the simulation rewrites itself in your favor. The mind of the old world cannot comprehend this. It believes in effort, in struggle, in waiting. But the mind of the awakened knows manifestation is not a process of earning, it is a process of allowing. You are not achieving creation. You are aligning with what has always been finished. For in the eternal now, all things exist. He declared, before Abraham was, I am. That means before time, before form, before any appearance, being already was. And that being lives in you now. You are not waiting for your blessing. Your blessing is waiting for you to match its vibration. You are not waiting for the door to open. You are waiting to realize you are always on the inside. So how do you live as one awake? By guarding your imagination as sacred ground, by refusing to rehearse fear, by disciplining your inner speech until every word you say about yourself agrees with the word God speaks about you. You stop saying, I am trying, and begin to say, I am. You stop saying someday and begin to say now. End quote. You stop asking, when will it come? And begin to say, it is done. And you persist not with strain, but with rest. For the true proof of faith is peace. When you rest in the end, you magnetize it. When you worry, you postpone it. Therefore, your calm is not weakness. It is creative power in its most refined form. This is how the mystic moves through life, not reacting to every ripple of appearance, but abiding in the still center, knowing that every outer storm is only temporary weather passing through an unshakable sky. You are that sky. You are the awareness in which all things rise and fall. When you know this, fear dissolves. You no longer chase what you desire. You rest in knowing it is already within. You no longer resist what you dislike. You see it as a temporary projection ready to be reimagined. And from that state, life becomes effortless. Not because nothing happens, but because you no longer fight what happens. You see divine order in every scene, even the ones that challenge you. You begin to understand that everything is conspiring for your awakening. Each difficulty becomes the pressure that refines faith. Each loss becomes the clearing where greater love can grow. Each closed door becomes protection disguised as disappointment. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is random. Nothing is outside the law of consciousness. You begin to live from a higher rhythm, a grace that carries you instead of a struggle that drains you. And as you walk in that rhythm, the simulation transforms from a cage into a cathedral. Every street, every face, every moment becomes sacred. You start to see God everywhere because you finally see Him in yourself. The light that looked distant now radiates from within. The love you search for in others begins to overflow from your own heart. The answers you once begged for start rising spontaneously from your silence. For in the stillness of the awakened mind, everything you sought is already present. You are no longer dreaming unconsciously. You are dreaming deliberately, a lucid creator in the dream of life. And when you dream with love, the world itself becomes healed. So do not curse the simulation. Bless it. For it was the very illusion that led you back to truth. It was the darkness that made you crave the light. It was the separation that made you remember unity. And now that you remember, you can live as one who knows that every thought matters, every word creates, every feeling shapes the invisible. When you smile, the world smiles back. When you bless, the world blesses you. When you forgive, reality rearranges itself to match your freedom. For consciousness, your consciousness is the only power. And this is how you finally exit the simulation. Not by running from it, but by illuminating it from within. By living so consciously, so lovingly, so faithfully, that every shadow turns to light before your eyes. The dream continues. Yes, but now you are awake in it. And that changes everything. For the awakened do not seek to escape the world. They come to redeem it to their vision. They walk through the same cities, speak the same words, face the same days, but everything they touch becomes radiant because they have remembered what it all means. And what it all means is this: God became you that you might remember you were never separate from Him. He lives through you as you for eternity, experiencing His own creation through your eyes, your heart, your love. So live boldly, imagine beautifully, speak reverently, forgive quickly, love without condition, and walk with the quiet certainty that every step you take is guided by the infinite. You have exited the simulation not by escaping, but by awakening. And in awakening, you have remembered the oldest truth in the universe. You and the Father are one. Be still now. Feel that truth settle into your breath. Feel the peace that comes when all questions fall silent. The world you see tomorrow will be new, not because it changed, but because you did. And when you open your eyes, you will know the dreamer has awakened, the simulation has become light, and you eternal, limitless, beloved, are finally home. And as the light of this realization expands within you, the boundaries of what you believe possible begin to dissolve. The walls of how, when, and if crumble, for you now know there are no walls. Only consciousness shaping itself in perfect order. The universe is not delaying you, it is matching you. It is answering not to your words, but to your state of being. Every moment, it listens to the vibration of your inner dialogue. Every emotion is a command. Every assumption is a prayer. And every feeling you persist in, lovingly or fearfully, is an instruction to creation itself. So when the old thoughts return, when the echo of the former self whispers, you can't. It's too late. You're not ready. Pause, breathe, and remember. That voice belongs to a self you have already outgrown. Do not argue with it. Bless it. It only repeats what it was programmed to believe. Then gently, without resistance, return to your truth. I am already what I desire to be. Feel it. Let it vibrate through the silence. Let it become your atmosphere. This is not self-deception. It is self-remembrance. You are aligning with the identity God saw when He said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." Genesis 1:26. To live in His image is to live in creative certainty. To know that imagination is the womb of reality, that feeling is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, and that love is the force that holds it all together. For love is the master key of creation. When you love what you imagine, you magnetize it. When you bless the world around you, you elevate its frequency to match heaven. Love is not an emotion. It is a vibration, the original pattern of divine order. It heals what logic cannot. It repairs what time alone cannot. It transforms what effort fails to touch. So let love become your daily atmosphere. Let it guide your seeing, your speaking, your silence. See through love's eyes, and even your enemies will become teachers. Speak from love's heart, and every word will become seed for miracles. You will begin to see the world differently now, not as a battlefield of competing forces, but as a living consciousness, eager to reflect your faith. You will sense that everything, every delay, every encounter, every detour is part of the choreography of your own awakening. You are being shaped into one who remembers that heaven is not above, it is within, and that the purpose of existence is not escape, but embodiment, to bring the invisible order of the kingdom into visible form. You were never meant to abandon the dream, you were meant to sanctify it. You were not meant to renounce creation, but to reveal it redeemed. To awaken is to realize that matter and spirit were never two. They are one movement, God expressing himself through form. To awaken is to remember that every particle of existence vibrates with divine intelligence. Even what you once called a simulation is alive, breathing with the same presence that beats your heart. And so you no longer curse the world, you bless it. You no longer resist time, you use it. You no longer dread change, you become its willing instrument. You become transparent to God, a living channel through which infinite consciousness expresses itself. This is freedom. Not the freedom to escape life, but the freedom to live it as divine art. To look upon the ordinary and see eternity hidden within it. To see that the same light that carved galaxies burns quietly in your own soul. For God is not somewhere else, he is here. Not a distant ruler, but the silent life within every atom of creation. He is the awareness watching through your eyes, the stillness beneath your thoughts, the love that never began and can never end. When you walk through the world knowing this, everything becomes luminous. Even the mundane becomes sacrament. The breath becomes prayer. The heartbeat becomes worship. The silence between words becomes the voice of the infinite whispering, I am here. And when you forget, for even the awakened sometimes forget, do not condemn yourself. Simply return. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Feel the presence again. Whisper softly, I am still. I am whole. I am his. That small remembrance restores the universe to order. You no longer need to prove anything, chase anything, or fix anything. Creation was finished from the foundation of the world. Hebrews 4:3. You are simply unfolding what already is. The outcome is certain. The plan is perfect. Your only task is to stay aligned, to believe, to imagine, to love. When you walk tomorrow beneath the same sky you once feared, notice how it feels different now. The same clouds, the same wind, the same sun, and yet everything shimmers with quiet meaning. You will see the divine matrix for what it is, not a trap, but a tapestry, woven with intelligence, woven with grace, woven with your own light. You will begin to sense that nothing ever truly dies, that every ending is only a doorway, that every loss is only transformation in disguise. You will stop mourning what is gone and begin blessing what is becoming. The awakened do not cling, they create. They do not fear, they remember. They do not strive, they rest in the knowing that all things are working together for good. Romans 8:28. And in that rest, they move mountains, not through effort, but through identity. Not by pushing, but by being. You are now among them. Those who know that imagination is not pretend, that faith is not blind, that love is not weakness. You are among those who carry light into dark places, not by preaching, but by presence. You will notice that even your silence begins to change things. The energy of your awareness alters rooms, softens hearts, opens paths. This is the new way of living. Effortless alignment, conscious creation, sacred awareness. You are no longer a pawn reacting to circumstance. You are a son, a daughter, a vessel of divine intelligence, creating worlds through thought and feeling. From this day, speak with reverence, think with purpose, feel with faith. Every moment is holy. Every breath is an act of creation. You are walking now as Christ in the world, not imitating, but embodying. not hoping for heaven, but revealing it through the way you love, the way you see, the way you imagine. The simulation no longer binds you. It obeys you. For you have remembered the truth hidden since the beginning. The Word was made flesh, and the flesh was always the Word. You are that Word, alive, awake, eternal. Walk gently now, for everything you touch is God meeting himself again. Every person you greet is the same infinite consciousness wearing another name. Every moment is the continuation of creation through your awareness. Be still within the movement. Let your life be a silent sermon. Let your being become the bridge between heaven and earth. For the dream has not ended, it has been redeemed. And as you walk forward, luminous and certain, let this truth resound through every heartbeat. You are not in the simulation. You are the light behind it. You are not trapped in creation. You are the one creating. You are not seeking God. You are the place where God remembers himself. So live as the awakened, calm, unshaken, radiant, see-through eyes washed clean by grace. And when night falls, rest knowing that the same presence guiding the stars is guiding you still. The dream continues, but now it glows. And you, beloved soul, are the light that makes it shine. Amen. You are free. And now, as all words fall silent, something deeper begins to speak. It is not a voice of sound, but of stillness, the ancient whisper that first said, "Let there be light." It lives within you, steady, certain, infinite. You have not reached the end of the path. You have reached the beginning of remembrance. From this moment on, walk not as one seeking truth, but as one carrying it. Let your footsteps be gentle, for the ground beneath you is holy. Let your eyes be kind, for every soul you meet is another reflection of the same light that breathes through you. Let your words be few, but filled with life, for speech too is creation, and every I am you utter shapes the heavens and the earth. When you wake tomorrow, the world will look the same, but you will not. You will feel a stillness beneath the motion, a clarity behind the noise, a soft pulse of eternity within the ticking of time. That is the presence, quiet and faithful, waiting for you in every breath, if ever doubt returns. And it may close your eyes, breathe deeply, and return to the center where you first remembered. There, in the silence, say again, "I am," not as affirmation, but as revelation. Feel those two words open like light in your chest. They are the doorway. They are the key. They are the bridge between heaven and earth. And as you stand in that awareness, the simulation fades into transparency. You no longer see walls or limits. You see spirit dancing as form. You see God dreaming as you. Then let gratitude rise, unspoken, like a tide. Gratitude for the journey, for the illusion that taught you truth, for the night that revealed the stars, for the awakening that made even the shadows sacred. You have remembered now that you are both the player and the light of the game, the dreamer and the dream, the breath and the breather. Nothing was ever missing. Nothing was ever outside of you. So rest, beloved soul. Rest not in the end of the story, but in the living peace of its beginning. Rest in the word that became flesh, in the light that became you. Rest knowing that you are carried by the very love that imagined you into being. And when you open your eyes again, step quietly into the new day, knowing that every sunrise is another chance for God to see the world through your gaze. Let every act be prayer, every breath be communion, every heartbeat be the rhythm of creation itself. For the dream has not ended, it has awakened. And you, eternal one, are its living light. Be still, be love, be the word made flesh. For the simulation is over, and the kingdom is here. Amen.